Alrighty, this is Crazy Bill with Crazy Bill TV going live on the intranet. Found Wi-Fi. Crazy Bill likes Wi-Fi. Crazy Bill TV going live and in effect. So tonight or today, depends on whenever you watch it, is going to talk about scouting. And let's bring and I'm learning how to do the whole live thing, and I'm going to go live more this year. It's going to be my goal. So let's try this and add this. So,
Hey, I got 2 bags of ice. You want one?
Yeah, definitely. Put one in here.
Oh, the propane and ice tour continues, folks.
oh yeah, we love the
Just
propane
being
and
on
ice store. So I had to start out with something funny. The propane and ice store, because every time you go camping, you need propane and ice, especially on those multi-days where you're camping at roadside and you can go to the store every day to get it. So here we'll start with this one. Let's see how I can do these screens. Let's put me in the corner here. There we go. I'm going to play this video here. That was actually at Golly, where you seen that is. That's at the Battle Run campground is where that video was taken at. It was pretty fun there. Golly Fest 2022. I did the weekend before Golly Fest and the weekend of Golly Fest is what I think I did that year. So this rapid is on the North Fork of the American. It's North Fork of the American. It's called Giant Gap, and it's a hell of a hike in. It's like 2 miles downhill of 1,700 vertical feet. And I had to burp my butt to like, hey, let's take a creature craft down. It's never been done before. I'm pretty sure it hasn't been done because the hiking is pretty ferocious. So this rapid is like one of the main key rapids. It's called Dominator. And you come up on it and you can pull off to the right and you can't really see it. So you'll see me pulling out here in the video of how, let's see if I can add it to here. There's a big pile of rocks on the right over here. And that's where we climbed up on the right-hand side to scout. You kind of come in center, dog left, and then cut back right, and there'll be a monster hole river left that you want to miss, or you can go in if you're feeling crazy. So that ain't working. Let's try this. There we go. I like this better. Tight in there. Yeah, it's pretty tight. Kind of like I say, you do a U, you go out left, and then you aim to the right to aim for center. Here comes the big hit right here. If you go right over in that rock is a big hole, so you're aiming to the right to miss it. You can see it. So that's Dominator right there. So I was with the crew that was rambunctious and actually went in and on purpose. Got some killer footage of it. But yeah, they wanted me to do it. This is my first time, so I believe in running clean the first time. So you see something and then you can be crazy and like, I'm gonna try it. Hey, y'all, hold my beer kind of thing. So, hey, y'all, watch this. I believe in running clean the first time. People are like, what? You're not pushing it? And it's like, even in a creature craft, you want to run. If you have never run something, you want to, try to run as clean as you can. And you're figuring out a river too. So I ran clean here. I actually drive to the right up over the pile, I think. So here, let's see. Boom. Again, that's the hole. This is my 360 camera. Some people are like, I don't know if I like that or not, but I like it. If you keep showing downstream, it's good for if you're trying to do like video scouting and like you've never done the river and you want to see like what it looks like sitting in your boat going downriver. But what's cool about the 360 is, like you say, you can slow it down, you can pause it. But the thing is, you have like 1,000 different views. You can turn the camera one way or the other. I like it once you've done a drop, you can turn back and look at how steep the drop was and what you've come down. So plus with anything with a GoPro or video, you can get like thousands of pictures out of it. So again, I love the 360, and this, like I said, this is Dominator on the North Fork of the American on Giant Gap right here. So getting a little crazy with the video effect. But here you go, I drop. So I made it, I went to the left of it. And then I'm purposely pinned. See if I can't speed that up again. Whoa. Oh, it's playing. How do you stop it right there? I want it to stop. So when I come off the drop right here, I on purposely right there pin on that rock in front of my boat so I can film, because like I said, they did some crazy stuff. It was fun to watch. That hole to the right is Flushing. It's not retentive, but you do like the big 180 kick. It's like you can almost do a cobra flip in a raft off a Dominator right there. It's pretty awesome. All right, I'll let that play out. So yeah, I on purposely sit here. I sat there because I wanted, like I said, again, I wanted to film. And with a creature craft, you can like on purposely like semi-pin or purposely pin or temporarily pin and then get out easier. So it's great for filming, I think, in my opinion. Because then you can pull out a regular, like your phone or a camera, or you can use it. I was using the 360 because the thing with using your phone is that you can lose it. Like I have a nice really iPhone, and like you don't want this to like go bloop in the water. And the big thing is your $1,000 string right here. This is like a $2,000 string because you want to tie it to your life jacket. So if you drop it, it don't go in the water. So of course I have a picture that's of the Golly Fest. So next thing I want to talk about is how so that was filming from river right of the river. Sometimes you go into rivers and they're pretty tight corridors and you're going to walk for miles, possibly if you're going to scout. So you're going to have to pull over, get up, look up high, or walk further. In tighter creek type rivers like the Russell Fork, sometimes you want to go on YouTube and look up what people have filmed for runs, and you can like scout with the video. And then so you're going to get that view of a kayaker's point of view, or a round boater or a cat boater, whoever filmed it, their view of coming down river. So you can see what you're coming to, what the moves you need to make, demographic landmarks is huge. Like when you come into the Russell Fork, you know you're coming into the tower because you make a huge left-hand turn with a big rock wall on your left. And then, of course, it horizon lines out. Anytime it horizons line, you're like, oh, it's on like Donkey Kong. So anytime there's a horizon line with Tower Rock, most people pull over, but I already kind of knew the levels. I already knew the line because I watched the video. And it's a narrow channel, but you want to be like center right coming down the channel and aiming to the right. I don't know which way. Right. Aiming to the right. So, and then once you aim after the right, then there's a sequence of rapids. There's what I call fake fist, and then there's fist, and then after fist comes some little bit of boogie water, and then you come up to the maze. And no, then there's let's make a deal. That's another one where you come into an eddy and then like you stop and like you make a hard left. But actually in a bigger boat, that's kind of the kayak run. You can actually go down the main channel. Now these lines, you got to make sure you see what the video says, what the flow is, because flow can change everything. At 200 CFS, even 50 CFS can change a river. So especially if it's going from like 800 to like 2000, like that's a huge difference. So, and on the Russell Fork, most of the time it's ran between 450, and when the releases are, it's like 800 to 1100. it has been ran up to like 2,500 and $3,000 or 35, and they said it was on like Donkey Kong. I've also seen video at 20,000 and it was screaming. So like what was 5 rapids becomes one long rapid for like 2 miles in the canyon. It's insane at 20,000. So again, scouting again, you know, you may have run a river at this level, but at this level it's totally different. And if it hasn't been ran by a lot of people at super hot water, it's running a whole new it's like running a brand new river because the tongues will change. Holes, sometimes there's rapids pop up that no one ever knew about because of the water level. And so
I've only ever ran the left side.
So this is, yeah, I've only ran the left side. I never did go down what you actually start right to center, but it's technically center. And once you hit center, you aim. There's the wood. You'll see when I run through here. I'll just let it play. But this is again, I watched video on this, so I've been in here before, but I never ran the right side. But my very, very first time, I did kind of play follow the leader. But as soon as I got through the maze, I'd watch video on, again, I'd watch video on triple drop. So as soon as I got through the maze, I knew exactly where I was. I knew what the next 2 hits were, or next 3 hits were. And then after that, there's Boogie Water. And then after that, there's El Horrendo, which you just come in on the left, shoot you back to the middle right. Or if you do what they call the Sunday line, you go down left. So again, this is where video comes in. Like you can stop it, slow it down. You can actually do screenshots. And big thing is like the entry of a rapid, what the crux of a rapid is. If it's a long rapid, sometimes it's like start left, go right, miss a hole at the bottom. Big thing is to know where holes are. No matter if you're a kayaker, cat boater, IKer, round boater, creature crafter, even in creature craft, if you want to miss holes, you know, you can prefer to go to them, but sometimes you want to miss them because if they're retentive, and you better make sure you bring a sea anchor because, you know, yeah, it's fun to get hammered for a little bit, even in a creature craft, but after a while, the fun meter breaks. So, some of them can be big and gnarly. The sea anchor was a game changer over getting out of holes. But as a kayaker, you want to miss too if they're big holes because you can get window shaded, you can tear up your shoulders, you may have to pull and swim, all that fun stuff. So, again, that's why you want to scout. So, I'm going to play this guy right here. Let's go right like this. We'll do it this way. Here we go. So this, again, this is the maze. This is on the Russell Fork in Kentucky. It's on the border of Kentucky and Virginia. And they do what's called the Lord of the Forks race every year, which is the last weekend of October. And they give you water Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. The dam releases do. When they release the water, it's pretty awesome. And again, it's in October. So as you can see, the leaves are awesome.
Where do you go? Center all the way through? Where do you go? Center all the way through this? You just go all the way through the center, right?
So you come in from the right, but it pushes you back left. So you're in the center, but you go left of center up here in a second. Still center. I call this that goat rock because there's a stick up on top of it. That's when you know you're in the middle of it. But it's true middle. So you just go left of this big rock right here is where I prefer to go. Like I said, there's like 3 to 4 different ways to go through the maze. That's why it's called the maze. It's pretty crazy.
On the left.
Oh, let's forward this. Okay. As you can see, you're at dead center of the river, and you can see that the line is all the way down. All that white water is your tongue. That's your tongue while you're scouting on river. Where all the water's going is down that tongue. So you head down that tongue, but then there's sleeper rocks in it that you gotta like maneuver around or whatever. You gotta be on your wheel the whole time in there. Right here, there's a sleeper rock right in this tight channel. See how tight that is? There's the rock. It's right where my oar is. It's hard. It was hard to see even in the river, but you gotta make sure you miss that. And then you can see where you need to go in the video further straight ahead. You want to keep going straight, but there's more rocks in here too that you gotta miss and avoid. It's like playing a game of Tetris. You got to make sure your boat is in the right spot and the right piece through here. But it's pretty much always generally down the middle. You stay in the middle. This is what's called split kind of decision rock in the maze. You're either going left here or you're going right. In a round boat, it's a little tough. If you go right, it gets tight, but you got to ship oars if you're using oar frames. A lot of people use paddles. So, yeah, this is like decision rock. And I go left here. After this, now you're getting into triple drop. Right? That's kind of that's the it of the maze. Once you get past that rock, you can see how it opens up. You're like, oh, I'm out of the maze. That's how you know you're out of the maze. Or if you went to the right of what I call decision rock there, where it stopped me and I went left, you might have went right. You do like a 180 down around this corner where this rock is here on the right there, where the front of my boat is. And then you would come out, and that's where the first of triple drop is. And it's kind of like a river wide ledge hole triple drop is.
I know where I'm at now.
This is the first hit of triple drop coming up. Because there's 3 hits. This is one of them. It's pretty big here. And it's river wide too. It surfs me for a second. That was 1. This is 2. Triple drop is awesome. And then this is 3. 3's really big. I on purposely pinned so I filmed the kayakers here at the end. That's what I like about creature crafting. I get killer photos. You can see how big it is in there. So that's triple drop. This is the very end hit. Everyone's going to run river left. It's safer there because where I'm actually at, I'm actually trying to be shoved under the rock, but I don't. I kind of like it. Again, like I said, it allows me to video, so you can see this picture here, which is pretty cool. Again, it's October, so the leaves are changing. You can see the colors. It's awesome at the end of the day. These are my Alabama friends. Keith Yell is in the blue boat, red life jacket. Mark Travis, I forget what he's in. This is Keith right here. This is Keith Yell from Alabama. Alabama boys, showing how it's done. And I think was that Mark behind him? That's either Mark or the next person's Mark. That's Mark. Mark was the very last person. Like I said, it's a beautiful time of year. Again, for scouting, you know, it can be riverside. It can be on the right. It can be on the left. Sometimes you may have to hike a ways. I know some people on the Selway, they'll like hike down to see the whole canyon. Like a mile or 2 or 3 so you can see it, because if it's a continuous like class 4, you want to see everything. Even taking a notebook to write stuff down. People are like, why would you take a notebook? Because sometimes there's a lot of stuff to remember. So you can like write it down and rehearse it. If that's how you learn. Um, a lot of it is where do you enter? What do I need to miss? What's the crux? What do I need to watch out for if you've never done something? So the other way you can scout, I've done it too on expeditions, is you use a drone. You put a drone in the air because it's like 3 to 5, 600-foot canyon walls, and it's rigid up and down like this. So you can put a drone in the air and go by 800 to 1,000, or half a mile away and come back, so you can see the water. But if you're using a drone, there's one thing you got to remember is got to make sure you have charged batteries, and don't be blowing your batteries for like, oh, look at this. This is cool. We're going to film everything, which don't get me wrong. You want to do that too, but you also want to make sure you keep a charged battery for possibly where you need to scout. Drone really helps save energy. So you ain't got to walk all the way there and walk all the way back. I mean, some scouts can take an hour. Some can take 3 or 4 hours. And then if you don't plan to run it, you got to go back and get your boat, and you got to do a portage. That can suck sometimes, but that's where a drone comes in, where it like gives you the advantage to see. Then, another way to scout is roadside. Just yesterday, ran South Fork Gorge on the Smith at pretty high water. I think it was at 33,000 on the Jed Smith. Well, on the Jed Smith gauge. And, I drove in the wrong lane with the emergencies on, watching. Main thing I wanted to see was wood in the river. There was no wood. And you're looking at it like, ain't nothing, ain't nothing, ain't nothing. Then you get in the boat, and the first big hit, like, it's 5-6 feet up over you, covering you. And you're like, okay, this is bigger than what it looked like from the road. So always from the road, you're always 2 to 4 feet off of how big it is in there, like far as wave size and wave trains. Like, even when the crew went and did Tumwater the very first time in Creature Craft, I was just like, that's 6-7 feet. And my friend's like, no, it's like 10-12 feet. And it was like 10-12 feet. So the depth perception from side of road to on river is totally different. It can be. So, but when in doubt, scout. If you're not feeling it, and don't, also look up videos of the river you're going to go do. There's usually tons of videos out there of stuff, and especially of the hard rapids. So it's not like you're seeing it for the first time, like, oh, I saw the video, I know where this is, I know where that is. You'll know where demographic features are and stuff like that. So yeah, this is Crazy Bill with Crazy Bill TV. If you got any questions, leave them in the comments. If of things you've scouted or things you might have questioned before, of why you scouted. The other things you need to scout for, not just the holes in rivers, is wood. Like I said, I drove the road on the wrong side of the road. Shh, don't tell nobody. I was watching though, because I wanted to see the river without having to quote walk, because you're roadside, so you could drive and just take a quick look and glance to make sure there was no wood in there, which there wasn't, because it had peaked prior to like 50,000 and it came down to 30. It's the other thing, once you run a river, if it's on the way up, you're going to have a more chance of wood. But if it's peaked and it's on the way down, hopefully all the wood has flushed through. So that's kind of the rule. Like, a lot of people like to be on the downward side of a rise in a river. But if you're near the peak, you're preferred to be just under the peak. So hopefully all that's flush. I have put on a river where 35-foot logs go floating by you. That was when I did the Illy at like 25.5. Like, there was 35-foot logs like shoot going right on by. So again, it's safer on the way down than it is on the way up, because it's loosening everything up to go down river. It's literally cleaning the river. So again, this is Bill Geimer, Crazy Bill TV. I'm going live more than normal because I like to go live, talk about anything whitewater boating. I love to go boating. It's something I love to do. Love to be outdoors. Love to go see new things. Love to explore. And as always, as Bill Guyman says, see you on the river. Hold on.